So in this video, we shall see how to send IBM IoT Watson platform data to nodered. Okay. So here we have used three things, guys. So first thing is IBM Watson IoT platform. The second thing is machine learning data. That is, so we have trained some things there. Okay, so I shall see this, and finally, so we gonna see the output in nodered platform. Okay, so the first thing we shall launch our IBM Watson IoT platform. So, after logging into your IBM Cloud account, so in the resources list, so just launch your Internet of Things platform. Okay, so I have created one before. Okay, so just click on this Internet of Things platform, so it will redirect to that launch page. So here from this launch page, so you will find a button called launch. Okay, so if you click on that, so your Internet of Things platform will be opened in a new tab. Okay, so I have already opened that. Okay, so if you have, so yeah, I've already opened that. So here previously I have created a new device. Okay, but if you if you think about this, so how to send this device data from IBM Watson IoT platform? Yeah, it's so simple. So here we have a device simulator, so that is an internal simulator. So in real time situations, so if we think about real time situations, so what exactly happens? So there we'll have some hardware device, so some sensors will be connected to that hardware device. Okay, so we will be sending that sensor data to this IBM IoT platform. Then we will be sending it to some other platforms, right? So as we don't have the hardware platform, so what we are doing is, so we are making use of this internal simulator. Okay. So how to use this internal simulator? Okay, so just click on this device simulator. Okay, so when you enable this device simulator, so below you will find this one simulations running. Okay, so previously I have created a simulation. Okay, so I have just deleted that. Okay, so here so what we'll do is, so we will create a internal device simulator. Okay, so just click on this create simulation. Okay, so just click on this new, so whatever device you have created, just select that and just give the event name. And the main thing, so here you need to schedule that. So here I'm just giving it to like for every month 1 minute, so I'll be sending this data. Okay, so coming to the payload, so this is the main thing. This is the main thing here. The main thing. Okay, so what is the purpose here? So what is our purpose? So here in the machine learning model, so we have trained a model, right? So we have trained a model, so using some cs with that as some previous data. Okay, so I'll just show you that data. So what we have trained here. Okay, so we have trained some data, right? So that is age, temperature, systolic, diastolic. So based on these values, okay, so based on this value, so we'll be getting the output. So in which state the person is, so whether he is an hypotension, pre-hypertension, so some of the things we have here, right? So what we'll do is, so we will try to send this data. Okay, so that is age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse. So these are the things we are going to send. Okay, so let me go back to IBM Watson platform. Okay, so what I'll do is, so I'll create the payload according to the data. So first thing is age, right? So second thing is temperature. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it directly. So second thing is temperature, right? So temperature. Next thing is systolic. So systolic is nothing but so it is one thing in while measuring the blood pressure. Okay, so diastolic is also the same thing. So it is related to blood pressure of person. Okay, so here the final one is pulse. Okay, so keep this in mind. So whenever you are giving multiple data here, so just separate that with comma. Okay, so just separate that with comma. Okay, if you have say here, I've just created some data here. So this is in the form of JSON. Okay, so I'm sending random values between 0 to 100. Okay, so just click on save. Okay, so after clicking on save, so it will ask you to select the device. Okay, so I've created this device. Okay, yeah. So after selecting the device, you can see, so one simulation, so one of 50 simulations are running. Okay, so my device, that is internal simulation, is running. Okay, so if you want to see, so just click on the created device. Okay, so in the created device you will find this recent events. So below this recent events you will find the data. Okay, so if you want to verify, just verify, so you can check the data, so whether you are getting the data or from this internal simulator or not. Okay, so let us see whether we are getting data here or not. Okay, so we'll get that within 1 minute, because we have kept that within the we have given the time interval between 1 minute, right? So for every 1 minute, so we will get our data here. Okay, let us see. Yeah, here you can see, right? So we are getting the data. Okay, so here we are getting the data: age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse. Okay, so using this payload, that is using this payload data, so we shall see this data in the nodered UI. Okay, so now what we'll do is, so we shall launch our nodered service. Okay, so I've already created that nodered service. So in the resources list under Cloud Foundry apps, okay, so just click on the nodered service you have created. Okay, so here you will find this visit app URL. Okay, so just click on that, so it will redirect to that node-RED service. Okay, so here just click on this, go to your node-RED flow editor. Okay, yeah. So here I have the uh, JSON nodes already created. I have downloaded it. So now what I'll do is, I'll simply just import those flows. Okay, I'll just import those flows here directly, and I'll explain you one by one. Okay, so here I have some flows created here. I'm not gonna use all those flows here. Okay, so now what I'll do is, so let me delete this thing. Yeah, so I've created a new flow here, so all my other flows are disabled. Okay, so if you observe here, so I've created a new flow. So now what I'll do is, I'll just import a flow. Okay, so to import a flow from the menu, just click on this import. Okay, so I have this thing. So in downloads I have this flows.json. Just select that. Okay, so just click on this import. So your nodes, so whatever nodes you have created there, so your nodes will be imported here. Okay, where are those? Yeah, one second. We'll put them again. They have been imported, but once again. Yeah, if you observe here, so my nodes, that is the flows, have been imported, but they have been automatically created in a new flow. Okay, so here are my flows. Okay, so let me delete these things. So actually I have imported it twice, so let me delete it again. Yeah, so these are my flows. Okay, so what I have done here is, so I have used the IBM IoT in node. Okay, so here in IBM IoT in node, so what I've done is, so here I have used the API keys. Okay, so I have already copied them. I have created them in the IBM IoT platform. Okay, from there I have copied and pasted here. Okay, and coming to the next thing, so here you have the device type, device ID, event type. Okay, so if you want to choose the event, okay, you can give the event name, okay, and format is JSON. Okay, so from here I'm getting the data. Okay, so if you select this and just give this message dot payload. Okay, so let me remove these things. Okay, so let me remove these things. Okay, just click on deploy. Okay, just click on deploy. Okay, so these belong to some other flows. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Okay, yeah. Oh, authorized. Acha, okay, okay, 1 second. So I'll just change these things. So I'll just copy API keys again. So this is my API key, right? So I'll paste this API key and authentication token. Yeah. So I'll just update and now I'll deploy. Okay. Yeah. So if you can see here, so my IBM IoT in node has been connected, right? So here you can see here. So within 1 minute, you will find the data. So whatever data you are getting from this IBM IoT node will be displayed in this debug panel. Okay. So let us check so whether we are getting data. Yes. So here we are getting the data. Then we will get the same data here in this IBM that sorry here in nodered platform. Okay, yeah, so we will receive the same data. So whatever data we get here, the same data we will get here in the nodered platform. Okay, so yeah, you can see here, right? So I've got the same data, right? So that is age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse, so which I have created in the internal simulator. Okay, so this is the same data, right? So 37, 98, 60, 26, and 20, right? The same data, right? So if you observe it, the same data. Yeah. So coming to the next thing. So what we will do is, so we will take a function node. Okay. So what we will do in this function node. So in this function node, so I'll set this values. Okay. So whatever values I have got from this message dot payload, that is age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse. So I'll set them to some variables here. Okay, so that is age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse. Okay, so if you observe here, so I have already created that. Okay, so global dot set is nothing but, so in our programming languages, so in our programming language, what we'll do, so we will take a variable and we will assign values to that variable, right? So the same thing we have done here. Okay, so if you observe here, so this is so message dot payload dot age. Okay, so whatever data that is there here, that is 37 value is assigned to this variable called age. Okay, though the temperature value, that is 98, is assigned to this variable called tmp. Okay, yeah. So coming to this API key, so what is this API key? Okay, so we shall see how to create this API key first. Okay, so to create your API key, so just get back to your IBM cloud main page. Okay, so in the tool bar, so you will find this manage. So just click on that manage. So in this drop down list, you will find this access IAM. Okay, so just click on that access IAM. Okay, so it will be redirected to a new window. Okay, so here you will find this. So in the left menu, you will find this API keys. Okay, just click on that API key. Okay, so I have already created one API key. Okay, so let me create a new API key. Okay, so let me create this as new API key 2. Okay, so this is my second API key. Okay, so using this API key, you can access, so whatever services you have created in this IBM cloud, you can access using this API keys. Okay, so this is my API key. Okay, so let me copy this and keep it safely in my uh, notepad. Okay, so I have done that. Okay, so we'll get back to Node-RED. Okay, so whatever API key you have created there, just paste it here in this function node. Okay, so I have done the same thing. I've copied that API key and I have pasted here in my function node. Okay. And coming to this message dot headers and message dot payload, so this is nothing but, so when we want to send data using some HTTP protocol, so we need some headers and we need to send some data there, right? So for that purpose, what we are doing is, so we are sending this content type, okay, and we are sending this like to access, like just to access that IBM IoT platform. So we are using this, okay, that is API keys and the URL. Okay, so let me connect this IBM IoT node and let me delete this. Let me go one by one. Yes, I have connected this. Let me deploy, click on deploy, and let me clear all the data here in the debug node. Okay, let us see, so what data we are getting from this debug node. Okay, so here you can see, so message.payload grant type, you are an IBM parameters, and we are using this API key to access the services from that IBM cloud. Okay, so we shall see, so what is the output we are getting from this function node. Okay, yeah, so it is taking some time. So we'll get data within 1 minute. So as we have kept, yes, so here you can see, right? So grant type, API key, right? So we are getting the data. Okay. The next thing we shall do is, so we will connect this function node to HTTP request. Okay. So this HTTP node is nothing but, so in this HTTP node, so here we are giving this identity, that is this URL to connect it to IBM IoT, sorry, that is IBM cloud. Okay, so here in this HTTP request node, so we are sending this data. Okay, so we are sending this parse JSON data, right? Okay, so we are sending some data here. Okay, so we are using this method as post. Okay, so just click on done. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll just take a new debug node and I'll delete this, and I'll connect this HTTP request to this message.payload. Okay, so we will see one by one. So what is the data we are going to get from this message.payload? Okay, from this HTTP request node. Okay, so in this HTTP request node, so we are using this URL. Okay, so we have given the API keys, right? So we have given the API keys. Okay, so what it is doing is, so using that API key, it is going to find the user. Okay, so simply it is going to find the user, so to which user I need to connect. Okay, so first it is going to connect it to my IBM IoT platform. So I have created my API key, right? So it is going to connect to my IBM cloud. Okay, then it is going to access whatever services I'm using here in this node, right? Okay, yeah, so it is requesting, and I have got some things here. Okay, so from this HTTP request, so I have got some things, right? So that means, so I'm getting some data here. That means, so this thing has been accessed. Okay, so if you are giving some other API keys, that is the wrong API keys, so you will not get this kind of data. Okay, yeah, so I'm done with this HTTP request node. Okay, so now what I'll do is, I'll connect to this function node. Okay, so what we have in this function node. Okay, so I'll just open this. Yes, so in this function node, if you find here, so we have some more things called global.get. Okay, so previously in the previous function node, we have this global.set where we have created a variable and we have assigned those values there, right? So now what we are doing is, so we are getting that data. Okay, so from that function node, so what we are doing is, so we are getting the data and we are assigning those values to this variables. Okay, if you observe here, so I'm assigning those values to this variables. Okay, and after that what I'm doing is, so variable token, so I'm using a token. Okay, and from that message dot payload, that is the access token. So if you find here, so this is my access token, so I'm giving this access token to this. Okay, and in this message dot headers, okay, so in http we need to so if we want like in http protocol we need to use this headers, and using that headers, and we need, if you want to send the message, that is the value, so we are sending it in the form of message dot payload. Okay, so in the message dot payload, so we have created a key ID, that is input data, and here in the fields, so we have created few things, that is whatever key IDs we have here. So that is age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse, and whatever values we have, that is the random values we have. So we have assigned it here in this particular function node. Okay, so just click on done, and I'll connect this function node to this message dot payload. Okay, so let me click on deploy and just delete these things. Yeah, now we'll see. So what is the data we are going to get from this pre-prediction? Okay, so so simply what we are doing is, so first we are sending data from this IBM IoT platform, to this nodered. Okay, from this nodered IBM IoT platform, so we are sending this data to the HTTP request. Okay, that means using API keys we are connecting it to our IBM cloud. Okay, so from there, so what we are doing is, so we shall access the machine learning platform. Okay, yeah, so from this pre-prediction, so we have created a new type, right? So that is input data, the same thing again. Okay, so if you observe here, so this is the input data. Okay, so in this input data we have two things again, that is fields and values. Okay, so in the fields we have all the names, that is age, temperature, systolic, and below that we have values. Okay, just click on done here, just click on done. And next thing, so again we are using a HTTP node here. So what exactly we have in this HTTP node? Okay, so in this HTTP node, in order to connect it to machine learning platform, okay, that is machine learning platform, we will use this URL. Okay, so from where we have got this URL. Okay, so here if you find this machine learning, okay, so here in Watson Studio we have created a auto AI model. Okay, yeah, in this Watson Studio, so what we need to do is, so we need to search for deployments. Okay, so we have created the machine learning model, right, and we have deployed that, right? So from this deployment spaces, so we need to get that URL. Okay, so here we have deployed this machine learning model. Okay, so so here we'll find that URL. So here in this deployments, yeah, one second. Yeah, oh, one second. So let me choose the previous one. Yeah, so if you, so you will get the URL here. So here you will find this deployment. Okay, so just click on that. So here you will find this URL. Okay, so just copy this URL and get back to Node-RED, and here in this HTTP request, so what you need to do is just keep this question mark version as it is, and just copy and paste your URL up till here. Okay, so just keep this question mark version is equals to 2020 hyphen 09 hyphen 01. Just keep it as it is, and just click on done, and now deploy your model. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just remove this node connection, and I'll just connect this HTTP request node to this message dot payload. Okay, so here in this message dot that is HTTP node, you can see, so we are returning a JSON object, that is we are passing a JSON object from that. Okay, so just click on deploy, just delete everything from here in this debug node. Yeah. So now we shall see. So from this IBM IoT platform, so we are getting data, and it is going into this HTTP request node, and from that we are passing it to the prediction. Okay. So from this prediction, so here in this machine learning model, so what we are doing is, so we are sending some random data to that machine learning model, and from that machine learning model, so we are getting the data. Okay, so what does the output we are getting? Okay, so if you observe here, so we have got some JSON data, right? So prediction, zero values, fields, prediction and probability, and here we are getting error. Okay, so why are we getting this error? Okay, so we are getting error because, so here you can see, so temperature is 23, systolic 32, diastolic 88, and pulse is 33. Okay, so based upon that value, so we are going to get the output. Okay, so if I open this document, that is CSV file, so here you can see, so for few values, so we have errors here, right? So we have the output as error. Okay, so we are getting data. Okay, so we are getting actual data from this node. Okay, so final thing. Okay, oh, one more, we have got the other data also. So we have got the other data, we shall see. So what data, what is the output we have got here? Okay, so we have got, yes, fever plus dehydration. Okay, so based upon this value, so it is telling that, so we are getting output as fever plus dehydration. Okay, yeah. So the final thing, so here the final thing, here in this function node. Okay, so here in this function node, what we are doing is, so again we are doing the same thing, that is so whatever values we have here, so we are assigning that. Okay, so we are assigning that, and here if you observe here, so our output. Okay, so we are getting the output, right? So we are getting the output, right? So message dot payload predictions value 00. Okay, so we are using some basic concepts so to get this value, that is fever plus dehydration. Okay, so if you observe here, so this is the total payload, right? So in this payload we have this predictions, under this prediction in this zero we have this fields and values. So we are not much worried about fields, we want this values, that is fever plus dehydration. Okay, so here in the 00 we have this fever plus dehydration. Okay, so that is we have assigned that value to this output variable. Okay, and whatever values we have got from IBM IoT node, okay, that is age value, temperature values, systolic, diastolic, and pulse values. So again we are assigning it to these variables, that is age, temperature, systolic, and diastolic. Okay, so oh, let me keep it to small. Okay, so let me keep it to small. Okay, yeah. So here you can see, okay, so we are assigning all these values again. So we are creating a new message dot payload here again. Okay, so if you observe here, so we have created a new message dot payload, and here we are giving that. Okay, so details, health, here and this health keyword, so we have all these values here. Okay, so let me click on done, and let me remove this connection between these two nodes, and let me connect it to this debug node. Okay, so let me deploy. Don't worry about this, so these belong to other flows. Okay, here you can see flow 1, flow 4. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, So let me delete this entire thing here from the debug panel. Okay, yeah. So we will get some things here. Okay, so from IBM IoT node, we are going to get the values. So it is going to send it to machine learning model. And from that, we are going to get the output. So in which state the person is. Okay, so let us wait. Yeah, we have got the data from there. Okay, yes. So we have got the final message dot payload, right? So this is the message dot payload we have created in this function node. Okay, that is detail. So if you observe here, so we have created the same things, right? So this is the message dot payload details, and in details we have health. Okay, age is 90, temperature 40, systolic 58, diastolic 6, and pulse is 9, and the state of the person is critical, right? So this is how we are going to get it. Okay, so here the final thing, so what we are doing is, so we are using a template node. Okay, so what is this template node? So template node is nothing but so to view our data, so to view the same data. So here we are getting here in the debug node, right? So to view this data in the UI, okay, to view this data in UI, so we are using a template node. Okay, so if I you open this template node, so we have some predefined code here. Okay, so if I expand this, you can see here. Okay, so we have used some HTML concepts here. Okay, so layout that is dev containers. Okay, okay, so we have used the span. Okay, and we have created like we are giving some words that is age, temperature, systolic to view the like to print this data there in the UI node. Okay, and we have created a new division class here again. Okay, so this belongs to one division, and here we have another division. Okay, so in this division, if you observe here, so we have centered it. Okay, so we have centered it, here also we have centered it. Okay, and here if you observe, that is ng repeat. Okay, what is this ng repeat? So ng repeat is nothing but, so we are getting data from this message dot payload, right? So if you observe here, so from this we are getting the message dot payload data. Okay, so here in health, okay, so here in health, so we are getting this data, that is age, temperature, systolic. So we are getting this entire data. Okay, so health and message dot payload dot details. Okay, health and message dot payload dot details. So what we are doing is, so we are printing that data here. Okay, so if you observe here, health dot age, that is nothing but the value, that is the 90 value. Okay, next, that is nothing but health dot temperature, that is the value of temperature, the same thing. So we have used here. Okay, just click on done, and if you observe here, we need to group it. Okay, so by default it has taken a group. Okay, that is home group. Okay, and tab is home, and sorry, the tab is new. Okay, if you see here, it belongs to home group, and tab is new. Okay, and I have kept the size to auto. Okay, so let me click on done, and let me delete everything here. And here in the dashboard panel, so you will find this option called link. Okay, so if you click on this, it will be redirected to this UI. Okay, so in this new UI, you will find everything. Okay, so here you can see home, new tab. So here we have age, temperature, systolic, diastolic, and pulse and output. Okay, yeah, let us wait for the data. Okay, so once we have got the data, we will see the entire output here in the nodered platform. Okay. Yeah, so we have got the data. Oh, sorry, I forgot to deploy. I forgot to deploy. And now I'll get the data. Okay, so I forgot to deploy that. So once we have got the data here, so we will get the same data. So it is taking some, yeah, I've got the data. So here you can see, and let me open. Yes, so this is how we'll be getting the data. Okay, so based upon the values, so we are getting the output here in the UI. Okay, so this is how we need to connect the IBM IoT platform using nodered. Okay, so and using machine learning models. Okay, so we are printing the output here in the nodered UI. Okay, so we have used some few nodes, that is IBM IoT node, few function nodes and HTTP nodes to connect it to. So first, this HTTP node is used to connect it to IBM cloud, and then this HTTP node is used to connect to the machine learning model. Okay, so here and after deploying, so we will get this URL, right? That is the endpoint URL. So we are using this endpoint URL to connect it to this machine learning model. Okay, so after connecting it to the machine learning model, so we are getting the output, so whether in which state the person is, and finally using this template node, so we are printing that data here. Okay, so now we have got another data, that is age, temperature, systolic, and some few values, some values, random values. So based upon those values, so we are telling the state of this person. Okay, so this is how we are connecting it to, we are using the different services, and we are printing the output here in the nodered UI.